I want to talk to you now about managing our relationships with those that we are quarantined with. When we take a look at who we might be quarantined with, those could be our typical family situations and circumstances, i.e. our loved ones, our children, etc. It might be roommates that we're sharing an apartment with as we're going to school or sharing a living space as we're working. It could also be individuals that were visiting with you and now are sheltering in place because they can't get home. It could be that you invited your elderly parents to come and stay with you. So there may be family situations and experiences that we're familiar with and comfortable with, and there may be some others in the household setting, in the quarantine setting, that are not quite so familiar. So understanding those perspectives will be really key as well. But I would like to address 5 steps or tips that we can utilize in order to deal effectively and to find ways to shelter in place together in good and healthy ways. First and foremost, to remember to be patient and understanding. We're all living during a very difficult and unknown time in our lives. Again, no other time in the history of mankind have we experienced such a pandemic. And so there's no rule book or no plans on how to deal with these issues effectively. So these tips are important to understand. Be patient and understanding. Understand that people's feelings are different and their thoughts are different, and we want to give them the space to do so. Secondly, recognize that we are individuals and that we handle things in very different ways. Even in a family setting, we may be very different from one another, and the ways in which we choose to cope with our stress and anxiety, particularly in the face of the unknown, may be very different. And we need to respect that and to honor that and to support that process. Third, let's be sure to talk with one another about our thoughts and feelings. Very often in a time of difficulty and growing stress and anxiety, we may tend to remove ourselves from the supports that can be very helpful to us. So while we don't want to focus on the pandemic 24/7, 365, what we do want to do is take those opportunities to share what our thoughts and feelings are, to help decrease that level of stress and anxiety, but also to do so with a proper balance, to not engage fully in that all of the time. Fourth, plan together enjoyable and distracting activities that you can engage in. Things that you may typically have engaged in on a regular basis, but now you're finding more time together so that you can do that for longer periods of time. That might be being outside in the backyard. That might be doing some gardening and yard work together. That might be taking a walk around the block, honoring obviously the social distancing guidelines by the CDC. It may mean reading a book together. If there's other family members, sharing a book and reading out loud to one another. It may be choosing movies on Netflix or Hulu, etc., that you might enjoy together. Also, it might be doing a puzzle together. So maybe thinking outside the box for things that are different for you than you've done in the past. But remember, being together in such isolated circumstance for an uncertain period of time can be anxiety and stressful in and of themselves. And so focusing on those distracting activities will be key. And finally, also recognize that we are individuals and we do sometimes need our personal space. That personal space may mean that they need to go to their bedroom or to another part of the house to sit quietly and contemplate and meditate on their own thoughts and feelings, to address their own issues that they're experiencing in this quarantine experience, as well as to process in their own ways the things that they need to be doing in order to maintain their own sense of stability and managing their lives effectively. We need to respect that and to recognize that that distancing may be key from an emotional perspective as well as a physical perspective. I'm Dr. Phil Toll, and remember, together we will get through this.